Do you know the mystery of Luke 17? Who are the ones who are taken? It says one is taken, the other is left. There's women grinding in a mill, one is taken, the other is left. There's two people in a field, one is taken, the other is left. The disciples say, "Where, Lord?" They're asking, where are they taken? And the Lord answers them and says, where the body is, there the vultures, or in some translations, eagles, will gather. So I'm going to show you real quick in a short video message exactly what Jesus's answer means and what it means when it says one is taken, the other is left. So first here, let's look at the scripture. It's Luke chapter 17. Beginning with verse 22, it says, "And he said to the disciples, the days will come when you will long to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and you will not see it. They will say to you, look there, look here. Do not go away and do not run after them. For just like the lightning, when it flashes out of one part of the sky, shines to the other part of the sky, so will the Son of Man be in his day. But first he must suffer many things and be rejected by this generation. And just as it happened in the days of Noah, so it will also be in the days of the Son of Man. They were eating, they were drinking, they were marrying, they were being given in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. It was the same as happened in the days of Lot. They were eating, they were drinking, they were buying, they were selling, they were planting, they were building. But on the day that Lot went out from Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. It will be just the same on the day that the Son of Man is revealed. On that day, the one who is on the housetop and whose goods are in his house must not go down to take them out. And likewise, the one who is in the field must not turn back. Remember Lot's wife. Whoever seeks to keep his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life will preserve it." Now here we go, right here, beginning with verse 34. "I tell you, on that night, there will be two in one bed. One will be taken and the other will be left. There will be two women grinding at the same place. One will be taken and the other will be left. Two men will be in the field. One will be taken and the other will be left." And answering, they said to him, "Where, Lord?" So you see, they're asking, where are these that are taken to? "Where, Lord?" And he said to them, "Where the body is, there also the vultures will be gathered." Now, many people like to take this passage and they like to attribute it to a rapture, the pre-trib rapture. But if you just hold on a second, I'm going to show you it's not talking about God's people being taken here, because Matthew 13 shows us that that is not who is taken first. But I'm going to go back even further and show you something absolutely profound in just a second. But first, let me show you this. Matthew 13 says, beginning with verse 30, "Allow both to grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, first gather up the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them up, but gather the wheat into my barn." So notice, first gather up the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them up, but gather the wheat into my barn. Now let's look at something very interesting. Job 39, beginning with verse 26. "Is it by your understanding that the hawk soars, stretching his wings toward the south? Is it at your command that the eagle mounts up and makes his nest on high?" Now, before we go further, I want to show you the word eagle. Eagle can also be a vulture, as you can see right there. So, is it at your command that the eagle mounts up and makes his nest on high? On the cliff he dwells and lodges, upon the rocky crag, an inaccessible place. From there he spies out food, his eyes see it from afar. His young ones also suck up blood, and where the slain are, there is he. Now notice the vulture the main vulture, sits up on high. And he sits on a cliff. That's where he dwells and lodges, upon the rocky crag, an inaccessible place. From there he spies out food. His eyes see it from afar, but his young ones, or his children, are the ones who suck up the blood. And where the slain are, there is he. So let's look at the word slain, because that main vulture represents Satan. His young ones are the apostates. Slain means pierced, polluted, profaned, deadly, wounded, fatally wounded, pierced, slain, profaned, profaned by divorce. Then you can see here it's rooted in a word that means profane, defile, pollute, desecrate, profane oneself, pollute oneself, defile oneself, ritually, sexually, to be polluted, defiled, to violate the honor, to dishonor, to violate a covenant, to treat as common, to profane the name of God, to be profaned, to pierce, to be slain, to wound, to pierce. You can see all that right here. Very interesting. Now look at that verse again. It says, his young ones also suck up blood, and where the slain are, there is he. I've just shown you what slain means in Hebrew. So now go back to this verse. Here's the Lord's answer. The disciples want to know, where were they taken? The ones who were taken. There's two people. One is taken, the other is left. They're asking the Lord, where are the ones who are taken being taken? And he said to them, where the body is, there also the vultures will be gathered. You can see here, vulture can be a vulture or an eagle, just as in Hebrew. Where the body is, there also the vultures will be gathered. Where the slain are, there is he. So what is Jesus saying? What is Jesus saying? He's saying where the body is. He's talking about death, the dead church. They're also the vultures, those who work for Satan, the apostates. They will be gathered there. So there's Jesus's answer. It's not referring to people who have been taken out by a secret rapture. It's referring to the apostates. Going back to Matthew 13, first gather up the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them up, but gather the wheat into my barn. The wheat are God's people. The tares are the apostates. So we can't just take and change the word of God or lie against the word of God to make it line up with what we want to believe or what we've been taught. The whole entire word of God is alive from start to finish, from finish and back to start. It is a living, breathing being of its own. One thing tells another thing all throughout. You can cross-reference all throughout the Bible and find everything. But we cannot make the Bible conform to what we want to believe because that's what sounds better to us. We cannot add to it and we cannot take away from it. There's warnings in the Bible about doing such a thing. So there's what all of that means right in your face. There's more to it than that, but I just wanted this to be a short, quick message to show you the mystery of that passage in Luke about who is taken out first. And what does it mean? Where are they taken? And who are these people who are the dead or the slain? Who are the vultures? Who's the eagles? Who was taken out first? Why? What does it all mean? So I wanted to show that to you. I hope I've helped.